Good morning, happy Sunday. So, this case of coronavirus outbreak in the world recently has been very nauseating. Really, it's not the typical virus outbreaks that we've had over the years, like the bird flu or the Ebola and all of that. This one seems to be taking a new toll on every one of us. No matter how much you want to decline or not believe that every one of us is affected in one way or the other, because it's not affecting you, because it's not prevalent in your locality, in your city, doesn't mean that you shouldn't really sympathize and pay close attention to what this outbreak is really teaching us. Recently I was speaking with some of my family friends that have turned family that are living in the US. And in fact, last night I spoke with Warren. I chatted with Warren, a very close friend of mine, and she was telling me that Adasi, this issue is a very critical issue. In fact, she told me that the day before she had run through a whole lot of tests, that the way they were testing her, it seemed as if she wasn't going to see the next day. In fact, in her own words, if she's listening, she said she was scared of the whole thing. And she's a health practitioner, and she said she was scared. And I've spoken with every other person that is my person that has been in the US, and the way they have taken this issue is such that you want to ask, is it the end of the world? In fact, few days before I spoke with some of my folks in US, I was just telling someone that the US attitude towards this virus seems the end of the world. Most of us that grew up studying the book of Revelations and all of that, and even saw some of the movies, especially those of us that grew up here in Nigeria. There was one of Sandra Achums, and we saw how the mark of the 66 was everywhere. People were running, hiding in their homes not to get it. That was what it seemed to me a few days ago when I spoke to one of my very close person, because she was actually doing a video call with me, and she was telling me the whole mall was like empty. It was really empty, and she was one of the people that got the information very late that everywhere was closing up: schools, malls, churches, and everything. And we are in Nigeria. We are very lucky, and we believe that will remain that way. But the fact is, like I told one of my friends yesterday, I said, I think there is something God is trying to tell us in this whole thing, because I've seen that in its uncertainty, there should always be faith, and we should always pay close attention to what is being said, what God is saying to us. The Bible says that those who are called by my name, if they can humble themselves and pray to me, said that He will heal their lands. And yesterday night, I said, God, what is the lesson you want to teach us from everybody going indoors and saying, see, us Nigerians, I don't think we can be able to deal with it. If the outbreak was so much, the death rate and the case incidences in US and other advanced societies is high. Nigeria, we had 2, and the last one has been proven negative. Now, if we're the ones that had this massive outbreak and then we are told to stay at home, where our churches are supposed to close, probably I wouldn't have been able to go to church today. We can't go to the market, no social gathering and everything. With our power supply system, with our infrastructure, everything, you can't stay indoors. You can't do anything really. So we should be grateful to God and ask ourselves. And when I was talking to God, I had this revelation about Deuteronomy 6 from verse 6 to 12 and Matthew 6 from verse 6 to 12. And I woke up, I read it, and I'm admonishing all of us to read it, because that is what God is actually trying to let us know in this whole scene, in everything that has been happening so far. God is trying to tell us, love me with all your heart, with all your mind, with all your strength, with all your spirit, and place the love of God in your heart, in the hearts of your children. Map it on your doorpost, when you're working, when you're driving. Let it be there. Our world is degenerating. Sexual immorality, high evil vices everywhere. Gun shooting, racism, nepotism, tribe. Everything is going down. And the Bible said that when you see some of these signs, they are the signs of the world to come. The world is ending. And you see these signs. What is God telling you is buckle up. This is the time for you. If you've not been close to God, this is the time to make it right. The fear of losing our friends. So many people have lost their family. So many people have lost their friends in this outbreak. We have to pray. We have to pray for those. So many of us in Nigeria have our families and our wives and our husbands living abroad, and we have to pray about these things. We have to say, God, please, we need your intervention. We need to know you more. This year I said, I need to know you more. We need to know God more. We need to love him, not just by lip service. We need to love him with our whole heart, and we need to turn back to him. I believe when this thing is actually actualized, we are going to live a more peaceful life. And I really want us to share this post. I've never said anything about share posts in my previous ones, but this one, God is saying, read these verses that I've said, and you will know that it is time for us to fall back and fall in with God. Have a blessed Sunday. Bye bye.